I'm with Michael Castle of Urban Growth. Michael, I understand that today we'll be unveiling Urban Growth's rezoning proposals for the Newcastle rail corridor. Could you take us through that, please?
Today we lodged our planning proposal with Newcastle City Council that talks about the land uses we're proposing along the former heavy rail corridor. We think we've got a great mix between public open space and some built form to achieve the objectives of the urban transformation outcome. We believe it represents the community consultation that we went through last year. We've released a video or an artist's impression around what we think the corridor can be, and we've included some building heights along there as well. So hopefully those that participated in revitalising Newcastle can see that we've made a very conscious effort to take on board all their feedback and come up with a proposal that will help revitalise the city centre.
As I understand it, the building heights, the recommended limits are higher in the West End and step down as we go farther east towards Newcastle Station. Do you think that people are going to see this as complete development of the corridor, or is it a fair mixture? How would you describe it?
Look, I honestly think it's a fair mixture. I think your assumption there is right. We are higher in the west as we work our way down to the east. I think we've been very open and transparent on what we think needs to go into the corridor to create not only great public open spaces but bring more people back into the city. Again, this is a proposal for council to consider. It's not a rubber stamp type exercise. Council will run another community engagement process sometime either later this year or early next year, depending on how their assessment goes.
Michael, we've just had a federal election. I know this is not directly relevant to urban growth, but we just had a federal election at which it appears politicians have been castigated for not listening to the public. Now, are you confident that the vision that you're putting out here is indeed supported by the public? Are you confident in your consultation?
I believe we did far-reaching consultation. We reached out to groups that are never normally reached out to. I think our report that we put out at the end of last year summarised all that well. I think what we've got here represents those views, and I'm quite confident that in moving forward, we've got a proposal that the majority of people will support.
So the tallest buildings are what? At the West End would be how many stories under your proposal?
The tallest buildings will match what's in Honeysuckle, around that 8 to 9 stories, and then we come all the way back down to 3 stories or shop top type housing typologies down in the East End.
All right. Now there's some work going on the heavy rail corridor at the moment. Michael, could you tell the public what's happening there, please?
Yeah. So on the heavy rail corridor at this point in time, we're removing the old ballast, the old sleepers, all the infrastructure that was there, the gantries and the bridges and or the pedestrian bridges that used to go over. We've created all those great ground level crossings which are well used now. So we're working our way through to remove all those components.
All right. So you believe it may take, a year at least before we'll see a finality on this rezoning, is that right?
Yeah, typically rezonings take a minimum of 12 months. We're hoping that the community consultation that we did underpins this one, and it gives everyone confidence that this is what the community wants. Government's made that commitment that council will need to support the planning proposal for it to move forward.
And Michael, as you know, the review of environmental factors was recently put on display. There are still people that want the light rail to go back onto the old heavy rail corridor. Is it true to say that by releasing these documents, you're now really saying that debate is over and that this old heavy rail corridor is a mixture of public space and development site?
Yeah, I think government's on record, even as late as the last couple of weeks, are coming out and saying the alignment is the alignment. That's moving forward. The REF is around some more nuanced components of that, and that report on the submissions of all the reports that came in under the REF should be out in coming weeks.
All right, Michael, thank you very much.
Cheers.